It is Thursday, November 20th. It is time to get in the weeds. I'm Jeremy Lambert. That is SP3 coming off of AEW Dynamite last night, heading into AEW Full Gear. We allegedly have TNA Impact tonight. We also have MLW Don Gato tonight as well. So we're going to get into all of that. New Japan Tag League started this morning. I've not watched it yet, but it did start this morning for people who want to follow those kind of things. As always, a lot to talk about in the world of wrestling. SP3, how you doing? Are you okay?
No, my internet is so messed up, or StreamYard is messed up with my internet because I literally, as soon as you took it over to me, I heard the In the Weeds thing. The In the Weeds thing never went off for me
Oh
until
boy.
Jeff, when you took it over to me, and then it just blasted in my ear. That's why I was like, oh, okay. But yes, it is Thursday morning. We are here to talk some AEW, to talk some graps, some pro wrestling. Got a lot to discuss with AEW Dynamite, the 3-hour special, AEW Dynamite and Collision. Some new matches being made for Full Gear this Saturday. We got Mercedes adding a 14th belt to her collection, even though it represents one belt. Not the first time she's done that. We also got Okada dropping people on their head while still steering the pot with Takeshita from more than 1,000 miles away, flirting with his girlfriend / boyfriend, Protostar Kyle Fletcher. You must say his full name. We're going to discuss that, plus more in the AEW Women's Tag Team Tournament and why are they pacing it this way? We have to talk about that. I don't understand. But yes, we got a lot to discuss. I'm excited. How you doing, Jeremy?
Oh, I'm well. Here's the banner. I hope it all fits. It does. Fortunately, all fits. All right, folks. We have the banner coming up here. Sorry, delay here on things. There we go. All right, the banner is up. For those who need a refresher on all of the titles Mercedes Moné has, there you go. Every single championship she has, including the split ROH Undisputed or ROH Interim TV Championship and the actual TV Championship. Just like the Queen of the Southside title is merged with the Rev Pro title. But 14 physical titles in the world of Mercedes Moné as she added to her collection last night because LOL, Mercedes Moné wins again. And that is also going to be our poll question for today. Let's see how many people. I feel like most of our audience appreciates the Mercedes winning every championship bit, but let's see if they don't. Let's see if some of them don't appreciate that. So our poll question for today, one second, I have to clear up things. All right, let's see if our audience likes the Mercedes winning all of the titles. Mercedes Moné title victories. Too much, too little, just right are your options.
It's like the porridge.
Yeah.
You're testing out all the porridge. Oh, this one is just right.
Exactly. So too much, too little, just right for Mercedes Moné and all the championships she has brought to her collection here. All right, folks, if you're here, leave a thumbs up on the video. That helps us out. So let's see if we get the fireworks going. There's the fireworks. The full-on firework display. Leave a super chat. Get your question, comment, statement read on the air. You can subscribe to the channel as well. That helps us out if you want to subscribe. And, just be active. Say hello. We appreciate everybody. We always like being interactive with the chat. So if you're here, say hello. like Volub is here, who says sup. And we've had people in the chat before the show popping off about Dynamite last night, as they're one to do. We got a couple people already commenting on the poll question. Will says, until she wins the AEW Women's World Championship, it is too little. Well, she has her shot this weekend. And Gray's also saying too little. She still needs the men's AEW title, the men's tag team titles, WWE championships, both genders, and both IC and US titles. Fair. That's fair.
Seems legit.
I was saying you appreciate everyone. Nah, I mean, I gotta lie to the people, the new viewers who are like, we feel welcome over here. You regulars, you know how I actually feel about you around here.
He's like, I don't like y'all.
Yeah. The regulars know how I actually feel about them, but the new people, I want them to feel appreciated and act like, we're very welcome around here. This is a great show. We should come back every single weekday because we are here every single weekday at 10 a.m. Eastern time. So please keep coming back. We appreciate you, except if you're here every single weekday with us, and then what are you doing with your life out here? You know what I mean?
You're going to get buried by Brian Alvarez if you don't be careful.
That's true. Well, that's only Zeno Hour. That's kind of reserved for him at this point. Yeah. Eric says, I'm thinking about going to Full Gear. I'm indecisive. Oh. Chat, let everybody know if Eric should go to Full Gear this weekend. How much are tickets that you're looking at, Eric?
That's always the question.
That might be a decider. Yeah, that might be a decider.
That's always the caveat.
Yeah.
I am going to Full Gear, so
if your tickets are free.
Yeah, I'm not saying I paid for it. I'm not saying I paid. I wasn't gonna say I got them for free either. Damn.
Yeah, but you said it
out there.
No, you said it on Tuesday that you were going as media. So that's I'm not saying anything out of turn here.
I said it last night too that I got lifted off the ban list. I guess I did enough Fightful shows where I complimented AEW. They didn't see last night's review where I was upset about certain stuff.
Yeah, so I'm not putting anything out there that you haven't said already. There you go. Your ticket was free. How much are you looking to pay, Eric? Because I always say they're not bad. About 100 to 150. The tickets I'm looking at. Is that each?
Each, not that bad.
Yeah.
It depends who you're going with.
Yeah, if you're paying 150, if you're paying like $300 for two people, I don't know. $300 for a wrestling event.
I saw those Hammerstein prices. My friends are going to the Hammerstein show, and they were sending prices in our group chat, and I was like, "Damn, $1,000 for front row seats." All right, I was like, them prices to run Hammerstein dictate the prices that they're gonna charge for the tickets.
Oh, just one ticket, 100, 150. That's not bad, honestly, for a pay-per-view. That's not terrible. So, yeah. I mean, depending on where you're sitting, if that's nosebleed, I don't know, it feels like you can get a little cheaper on that. But yeah, depending on where you're sitting, that's not bad. All right, Eric, I think you should go if you can go. That's my final comment. I think you should go because he did mention I have to find coverage at work, so that might be a little. The difficult part here is if you can't find anybody to cover for you at work. I mean, skip out on work. Fuck it. Get a doctor's note from Tony Khan. I'll get you a doctor's note from Tony Khan, Eric, and say like, please excuse Eric from work. Sorry he could not find coverage, but going to AEW Full Gear was the priority this weekend. Yes. I'm Tony Khan, and I approve this message. We'll get you a doctor's note from TK if you are not able to find any coverage, Eric.
And look at that. Taylor's willing to cover for you as well. You're fine.
There you go.
You're fine.
Oh, Eric says he's meeting Tony on Friday.
Oh, look at that. Shit. Look at that. You guys have a meeting? You, Shane McMahon, and Tony Khan?
Yeah.
That's dope.
Tell him to join In the Weeds on Friday.
No, you got to tell him to join it on Tuesday or Thursday. He has to join it with me on the show. We gotta get Tony on the show and also beat some allegations, He had some allegations a couple of years ago when he let someone go and put out a tweet on New Year's. So I think it would be nice if he was talking to a black brother on In the Weeds as well. So Tuesday and Thursday, Tony. Tuesday and Thursday. Let's accomplish two things at once: a great interview and you beating allegations at the same damn time.
Look, I'm not going to decide when Tony joins this show. If he is free on Monday, Wednesday, or Friday, we will have him on Monday, Wednesday, or Friday. Sorry, SP3. But you know what? Wednesday doesn't actually work, Tony.
He's going to be talking to known AEW hater. This is going to be great.
I mean, that would be very good, honestly. You know, if Joel is on here and he's going to bury AEW, and then Tony's got to defend stuff. Oh, I don't think
Joel will bury it.
I don't think Joel will bury it either, because like Joel's criticisms. Some of them are valid, some of them are stupid. But I mean, we all have stupid criticisms, so I don't know. I'm trying to be nice.
I'm just saying, I love Joel. I love what Joel brings to this, that he has a different point of view a lot of times from me and you. And I love the fact that sometimes he'll bring up something that I didn't think about. And I'm like, oh, that was actually a good thought, a good reasoning and stuff like that. And then there's stuff like yesterday where he's just making stuff up. Like, oh, these two NXT people are going to face at Saturday Night's Man. I was like, what are you even talking about? What are you talking about? Or the Nixon Noel Miranda Alizé, they set up a singles match. What are you talking about? They obviously set up a tag team matchup. That's why we're upset weeks later. Like, what are you like? Yeah. So some, I think, is being very generous.
That was hilarious, though, when he was trying to do NXT matches when it was very clearly stated it's NXT main roster matches. You should ask him to join In the Weeds, Eric, and yeah, you can ask him about Lovin' on Me as well if they actually got the rights to that.
I do love Joel and Romeo are the two people that I work with or do podcast shows with, which I commend them with their ability to stand 10 toes down no matter how wrong they are. Like I commend Joel that no matter how many times we call him out on this type of stuff, he won't do the R-Truth, my bad, and then move on. He'll stand 10 tones down and be like, no, this is the reason why I said it. That's why Joel is the host of In the Weeds. Praise be Joel.
Romeo's a coward, by the way. He was supposed to be on Spotlight tonight to talk about gambling with Jensen.
Oh, he bailed on you?
Yeah. Bailed out on us. Him and Jensen were gonna be degenerate gamblers together while I just sat there. I was like, yeah, I don't bet like y'all do. I don't bet on who's awake at 3 a.m. in the morning just and on YouTube. I swear they would bet that stuff if they could.
Probably.
It's like, who's streaming live on YouTube at 3 a.m. in the morning? Place your bets now. Romeo's a coward.
That's an interesting question.
There's got to be somebody out there in the world. In Japan or something, 3 a.m. is 3 p.m. So I don't know Japan times. No. So somebody would be streaming. They would 100% bet on that stuff if they could. But no, Romeo's not joining us today anymore. So he's a coward. Let him know that next time you talk to him in 3 weeks when he shows up to Raw Review.
He did already prep us with, he was like, man, Chris G was on the show this week. He was like, oh, Chris, are you want to come next week? And Chris was like, maybe I'll think about it. He was like, all right, let me know. I don't want to make it 3 weeks in a row I show up. He literally said that on the air. It was like, I don't want you getting too comfortable. Me showing up 3 weeks in a row. God forbid. No.
Yeah, we can't have that around here with Romeo, but he's not gonna be on the show tonight. It'll be just be me and Jensen. We had a lot to talk about in wrestling. I know Jensen wants to talk about Tony Khan on the Ariel Helwani show, and
when am I gonna get invited on to get a second interview?
I don't know. Just show up, dude. Didn't you show up? You showed up the other week. No,
I don't.
Okay.
I don't want to. I want to be invited on like a proper guest.
Oh.
I want to be treated like it's the City Hawkins dance, and you're actually out on a date.
And that's where the guys or the girls ask the guys, right? And that the Sadie Hawkins
Yes,
theme. Yeah.
yes, yes.
Oh.
That's why I didn't say I'm a female, and you guys asked me. I said it's the City Hawkins dance.
So
And you got
we are the females.
yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Okay. I never think.
I mean, you and Jensen got longer hair than me, so.
I mean, that's very true. I never think I put my hair in a ponytail the other week, like last week. It was interesting. I don't know if I liked it. I don't think my wife liked it too much, but I don't know if I liked it either. That's why it didn't last very long. The kids thought it was funny, and then they looked at me weird. And I was like, "You're a dork." That's basically the kids' reaction to me. It's like, "What? Why are you?" That's it. If you had, I was thinking about this Tony Khan thing, and like if he ever joined the show, which I don't think he will, but if he ever joined the show, what's a question you would ask that you think is like a fair question that isn't too needling or anything? Does that make sense? Because you could obviously ask like, "Hey, CM Punk, what was really going through your head when he's out there at that all-out press conference?" That feels a little needling. I do want to know the answer to that.
I do.
Yeah. I kind of think that's a fair question.
I have some of the clips of his reaction to some of the things CM Punk was saying.
Yeah. But I also think like, I don't know about that one. But what do you think? What's a question that you would ask that you think is pretty fair and you would actually potentially, you never know with Tony, but you could potentially get a good answer out of it? I'll give you mine while you think. Okay.
Yeah.
So mine was going to be, Tony's been asked about like regrets and stuff. And he always gives I wish I had more time with this person type of thing. I want to know what he thinks his biggest mistake or regret is booking wise. Because then, you can't say like, "Oh, I wish Mr. Brody Lee was around longer and we had more time with him." Because that's his usual answer when it's about regrets. And Jay Briscoe, that's the other one that he brings up when he's asked about regrets. It's like, "I wish Jay Briscoe, we could have gotten him on television," which are both fair answers. But like, I want to know his biggest booking regret, or what he thinks his biggest booking mistake was. Like, wish I had a mulligan on that one. Wish I didn't do that one. And if he'd give us an actual answer, because he might just be like, "Well, some things we did very well, and other things we didn't do very well, and the things that maybe we didn't do as well, we very quickly course corrected, and we're back on track. And we're having a great year here in AEW. I think we've had our best year ever. We're doing great pay-per-views. Our locker room's very tight right now." Like, we could 100% get that answer. But if he gives us a true answer, I'm very curious what it would be.
I would ask something along those lines, but not as similar as I originally thought it would be. But I would ask, because he's so known for, he's a promoter and booker and everything, but he's most known for being a wrestling fan. So, he probably can't watch as much wrestling as he used to, but in the 6 years that he's been running AEW, outside of AEW, what's the best thing that he's seen in pro wrestling? And yeah, it'll probably be one of the partner promotions, but I think that's something that no one's ever really asked him, because it's always asking questions from the perspective of he's a wrestling promoter. And I know that's cool, all fine and dandy, but it's very rare that you get a promoter that's actually a wrestling fan as well. And if he has all these partner promotions, he's been partner promotion with TNA as well throughout the history of AEW. I want to know from his perspective as a fan what he has enjoyed the most outside that was not under the AEW ROH banner.
He's going to say like Kenny Omega and Gabe Kidd in New Japan, or Takeshita winning the IWGP World Heavyweight title. It's gonna be an AEW.
I would be like, no AEW, not involving AEW and AEW stars.
Maybe he'll praise like Action Dean from WrestleMania weekend a few years ago, since they've done the partnership with Dean now. So maybe it'll be.
I think it would be an interesting answer. What comes to his head? Because I don't think, and I also don't think, because I praised the Ariel Helwani interview because I thought that was one of the best handled interviews that we've seen from Tony Khan. And I've been praising the fact that I don't think that enough people have been talking about it before this interview, is that media trained Tony Khan has gone a long way to help the fan perception of AEW. The way he handles these interviews, the way he handles scrums, the way he handles conference calls, the way he handles social media. It's much different from 2024, 2023, 2022 when he was Rage Baiter and Joe started there. It ruled for us from the outside looking in, but from the perception of how the company looked, it did not look that well. So I think that it has helped this new media trained version of him. But I watched that interview and I was like, he knew every fastball. He knew every curveball. He knew when the splitter was coming. He knew when every question was coming. He had something prepared. That was not a Tony Khan off the top of the dome. A lot of those questions were definitely he prepared for them. So I appreciate the fact that he was prepared, but I would like to ask something like that where he's not going to be prepared for a fan question. He's going to be prepared for all the promoter questions, all the stuff concerning AEW. So I want to ask the question that I can get more of a off the cuff answer.
I also just want to do a bit where I ask him about just people who regularly appear on this show. Be like, what do you think about signing this person? Have you ever thought about signing Vinny Pacifico? You ever thought about signing Ben Bishop? You ever thought about signing Cole Radrick?
I really think you should sign Darius Carter. Yeah, have you seen this guy? He's a great heel. He's a great talker. Come on, Tony. I'm just gonna do my whole Ariel bit again. I'm trying to get Karrion Kross on.
Just try to get all our friends jobs in AEW. Like, you thought about signing this person? That's a very interesting name. I never really thought. I really love their social media presence. I know Vinny has done great stuff with Big Boom AJ. They've done very great videos. I know Ben Bishop has done very great videos on social media as well. He has a great presence on social media. Cole Radrick, I believe he's injured right now, but when he was healthy, he was on a great tag team with Jordan Oliver and Alec Price, and they were doing great things. And Jordan Oliver used to team with Nick Wayne, and Nick Wayne is the ROH television champion, allegedly. He's sidelined right now.
He'll mention Jordan Oliver, but the fact you think he's going to mention both of them when it's a GCW and they ain't connected with that, I don't think so. I don't think he's going to mention. He'll mention Jordan Oliver for the connection to Nick Wade, but he won't mention Oliver, even though Alec Price was technically the partner.
Alec Price has been on ROH TV. There's no heat on Alec Price.
No, I don't think there's heat, but you're talking about that tag team.
Yeah.
That's a GCW tag team.
Hey, that's fine. Again, it's all just connected. SP3. He knows all of this stuff. Tony's tapped in to all of this.
All right. Okay.
Just let me do my Tony Khan bit here. Let me do my Tony Khan impression.
If you say so.
That's what I would do. I'll just try to get all our friends jobs on this thing.
As you should.
All right, Tony. Now you, since Tony watches this show, now he knows what's coming when he eventually joins us. We shall see. Signing Dijak would be a home run. Have you thought about Dijak? My World, high end. What do you think?
Did you see his letter last year? Did you see his letter? He's talking about, he's been doing great things over in MLW. How about the skyscrapers? You don't have a big man tag. You got the Gates of Agony, you got the Herson. Those are muscle beat 'em up tag teams, but you don't have a tall tag team. You need the skyscrapers. You need Bishop Dyer and Dijak, two friends of the channel.
And then I'd ask him to fund Ring of Hallucinations.
There you go.
That would be the closing question for Tony.
Checks all the boxes. Checking all the boxes right there.
Can I just get the pencil to ROH and rebrand it as Ring of Hallucinations? I promise you more people will watch. I promise.
I promise you money, Tony, money.
I don't need the third hour of Collision main event when the audience is all asleep by this point. Just let me do my show every Thursday, and I promise the viewership will roll in on things. Just let me get the pencil to Ring of Hallucinations.
That's why I give credit to NXT. They taped their Gold Rush thing smartly, where they did one half of the show before the live taping of night one, and then did the other half of the show right after night two. Because after the live show, you're only going to be able to get people to get involved in like one or two matches. So that was smart. Smart booking by them to kind of lay it out where there was only two matches from next week's show after the live show.
ROH tapes like 15 matches. After.
Yo, dude, I did not know that until I was at a AEW event. I think it was the AEW All Out weekend in 2023, and dude, they did the whole show.
Yeah,
and like, yo, you just see the crowd. You just see loads of people leaving after every single matchup, and it's just so depressing. It's just so depressing. It's like, why do you do these? Why did you do that to these wrestlers? Hopefully that's changed a bit, but damn, man.
I don't think it has. I don't think it has. I mean, they tape some stuff beforehand, but then they tape like 5 matches or so afterwards as well. I don't think it's changed too much.
You don't need to be doing all that. No one cares. No one cares. Like, I care about Ring of Honor, but even me, I stopped watching it live on Thursdays. I watch it on Friday morning now. Because it's not appointment television. It's not something I need to be. Yeah, most Thursdays I don't have nothing to watch at 7 p.m. I'm not gonna watch that because it's not appointment television.
How dare you? Oh, I think this is SP3's internet messing up for once and not mine. That's good, at least.
Yeah, probably.
It's typically mine. I would ask about the Nixon Newell Miranda Alizé situation. If Tony came on anytime soon, like, 2 months from now, it's a whatever story. Like, it's not that important.
Ariel didn't ask about that, did he?
No.
Oh.
I don't think Ariel knew.
Probably not. He'd be like, oh, no, I don't care.
That wasn't that big of a question for him.
That's something for either the conference call, which I think is today, right? It's today, the conference call?
Yeah, allegedly.
Yeah, it's a conference call today or the media scrum on Saturday. If no one axes it between the conference call and before I ask a question in the media scrum, I will do my due diligence, guys. I will get the heat for everybody else.
No, who cares about that? You got to ask for the Lovin' On Me update. That's what our audience wants. You care about Nixon Newell and Miranda Alizé?
You and the 12 people that really want this to happen. I don't know.
More people watch this show than watch their stream where they gave all the details of why they walked out. So,
also true. I mean,
there's a bigger audience. There's a bigger audience here than for them. So, I think you asking that question is more relevant to the happenings in the world of wrestling.
If Bandito wins, if Brodito wins against FTR and they're up at the media scrum, I will ask Bandito. I would say, as Ring of Honor World Champion, I hear that you're a part of the Ring of Honor governing body. So I wanted to know if you could work it out that we can get Lovin' On Me for Blake Christian, please.
That's a good question. I like that. Ask. I feel very mean saying this. Ask Brody King if he was reading off of a teleprompter last night.
It did feel like that.
That promo, I don't know what was up. Like, they usually have like good energy and good chemistry. And last night, that backstage promo with them last night, I was like, is Brody okay? Like, are they just reading off of a teleprompter here? Is he like trying to remember his lines on this? The energy just wasn't there for those two. And usually it's there for them. That was my biggest criticism of AEW last night. Is it felt like they were reading off of a teleprompter. I'm sure I have other criticisms.
That wasn't that's your biggest criticism?
I'm sure I have.
You thought it was a good show.
I'm sure I have more. That was just something that came to mind. All right, let's get into Dynamite last night. Let's start with
and Collision.
It's all Dynamite to me. I hate that they split it up like that.
I mean, for the first time ever this year, for a 3-hour, 4-hour AEW special, it actually felt like the final hour they actually gave a damn. They didn't punt on the final hour, which was quite surprising to me.
No, I do agree with that it did not that they did not punt on the final hour, which is good. I was glad to see that. I still don't like that they consider it two different shows. It's a 3-hour Dynamite. Quit telling me it is 2 hours of Dynamite and 1 hour of Collision. This would actually be a good bit, Volib, if you start the allegedly counter for me. I know I say it allegedly a lot on this show.
You do.
I don't want to get in trouble, okay? That's why these things are all alleged. You know, people coming after me. Becky's trying to sue everybody. Mercedes is a lawyer boyfriend. She's going to sue people. Mark Sterling is always...
You heard I joined another faction, right?
Oh, God. What? Who now?
Bros for Becky. Xavier Woods retweeted my video.
Oh, okay. All right.
Bros, I'm a bro for Becky.
You're a faction whore, SP3.
I am the Black Sonata, ladies and gentlemen. That is who I am. I am Black Sonata. I go where the money is. The money is with Bros for Becky. We're gonna have a big lawsuit because they understood they needed someone who was on the ground, who was in New York City, who had some background information, who can do the investigation on what went down in 34th Street and 8th Avenue this past Monday. It was a crime. It was an injustice, and it's actually a premeditated murder of the Intercontinental Championship, all at the same time. Someone got screwed over, someone got cheated, someone got robbed, and all of y'all are complicit in it. Y'all are all complicit because all of y'all are staying quiet. Y'all are not standing with me, Woods, and Kofi. Me, Woods, and Kofi are the only ones that are willing to fight against injustice. One of the greatest performers in the history of this business was objectively robbed. A crime was committed live on national streaming service in Netflix, the biggest streaming service in the world. There should be millions of Bros for Becky. What is going on here?
I think that they don't like the Irish.
The African Americans, the Mexicans. We are the most the most shunned people in this United States of America right now.
I'm on Becky's side. You sold me on premeditated murder of the women's Intercontinental title. That's a good case, honestly. I'm there. I'm with you. I'm on the Bros for Becky side. Can I get a card or anything? Am I welcome to this?
Yeah, it gets in the mail. You probably have to take a photo, send it to them, and then you get an ID and everything. It's cool.
That's fine.
Get a part of the club. We do club meetings on Thursdays.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, let me know. I'll show up. I'm there. Yeah, I'm on Becky's side with this. Dynamite last night. Let's start about the potential elite reunion. So Don Callis is recruiting the Young Bucks still. They're, of course, teaming with Josh Alexander this weekend against Kenny Omega and Jurassic Express. And they teamed with Josh Alexander last night against Skyflight because they exist. The Bucks and Alexander won. And after the match, Callis was like, hey, let everybody know you're joining the Don Callis family. They gave him the big intro to, again, they got their theme, they got their pyro and all that. It was like, let everybody know you're joining the Don Callis family. And they won't quite say it just yet. Kenny Omega comes out. He gets beat up by Alexander and the Bucks. And Callis is like, give him the BT trick. Callis's miming of the trigger was so funny. He's doing like the knee. That was hilarious. And they're hesitant to do it, and before they can do it, here comes Snow Shovel Jack Perry and Luchasaurus to make the save. And the Bucks
Marge Simpson Luchasaurus with a vacuum cleaner as a weapon.
Yeah, that ruled. That absolutely ruled. I do think like they were just like playing off of like The Simpsons. I feel like there a vacuum cleaner and a snow shovel. So they come out, make the save, and the Bucks are still hesitant. So the tease is Will the Bucks join the Don Callis family, or will, after being so down on their luck over the past few months, after being nuisances and tyrants over the last year, with being the EVPs and making the demands and the rules everywhere, will they finally accept that they need Kenny Omega and that the Elite reuniting is best for everyone? What are your thoughts on all this, SP3?
Thought the match was fun. I also thought it wasn't really necessary on the show. There was another matchup on this show, but you announced like 7 matches on the show ahead of time and then gave us 2 unannounced matches. I don't think we need 9 matches on even on a 3-hour show. I don't think we need 9 matches. This was fun though. It was fun. It was nice to see kind of Skyflight, who did not get much of a reaction on the way out to the ring, get a reaction due to their hard work, due to Dante Martin having a Dante Martin style sequence, high flying everywhere, flying over the top rope, hitting the springboard, showing his tops off. Dante was a great performer in this matchup. Nick Jackson has been awesome this entire year. He was great once again in the matchup as well. I like the story that they set up with Josh Alexander wanting to bring more aggression, more violence out of the Bucks and kind of stealing the victory away from them. They hit him with the EVP trigger, and he still had to get the ankle lock, had to break his ankle to add insult to injury to pick up the victory here. So I like that setup, where it sets up how this dynamic of this trios team is going to be on Saturday. And then I thought with the post-match, I thought they were just going to give away, like, what's the Bucks answer? I thought they were going to do the Elite reunion right here, which I was like, that would have been a mistake. I was like, what are we doing? We're rushing this too much. So that's why I really enjoyed the post-match angle. And on a night that we didn't get a whole lot of post-match angles and promos, I thought this was really well done. Don Callis is the manager of the year. Y'all can stop fighting it. Y'all Paul Heyman marks. Y'all can shut up. It's Don Callis. Don Callis is the manager of the year because he is just so good at being a carny 80s villain. Everything he does is so over the top. It's so enjoyable. It's so entertaining. He's played very well with the Young Bucks, with their kind of despair and making them sympathetic with his recruitment into the Don Callis family, and basically alluding to the fact that if they refuse to join the Don Callis family, he's just going to have his whole gang murder them. He's just going to have them jump them. They basically laid it out for them. He was like, it would be a shame if you got the same type of beating as Kenny Omega. He's like a fake out, like, oh, is it gonna happen? Oh no, it's not yet. Like, oh my god, Callis is awesome. Bucks played their role very well. Kenny played his role very well. I really feel though, like 2025, I did a video on Trio. It just feels like a lot of missed opportunities with Kenny Omega. Like, I understand that he's slowing down and that he stated before he's not the same performer that he used to be and that he's winding down his career. That's all fine and dandy. But I am saying there has to be someone on this roster that he can have a singles match against, because he has not had a singles match since losing the international championship at All in Texas in July. And he set up about 2 to 3 singles matches in that time. Like, it's either one or the other. If you're not going to do singles matches, how about not set up singles feuds? How about not have Kyle Fletcher do that angle where he laid out Kenny Omega and sent him out for months? How about not do all these overt kind of setups for a Josh Alexander Kenny Omega matchup, where Josh was kind of setting up for that to happen in Toronto? Then he injures Kota Ibushi. That's a logical way to get to a singles matchup. They still didn't do it. They did it again with him injuring Michael Nakazawa on Collision and him coming out here. Like, there was multiple ways we could have done a Josh Alexander Kenny Omega matchup by now. And of course, the big one is Andrade, which is out of AEW's hands, but not Alexander and not Fletcher. So don't set up singles feuds if he's just going to be in these multi-man feuds. And the matchup in general does feel like a matchup that should be on this show, the go-home show, and not at the pay-per-view. That this should be the setup for the go-home show for like a stipulation match for Jurassic Express versus the Bucks, and a one-on-one matchup between Kenny Omega and Josh Alexander. But they're telling this story of the Elite reunion. I think we do get it on Saturday. I think they just wrestle the matchup straight up with this dynamic of Josh Alexander not really being on the same page as the Young Bucks, which leads to their loss in the matchup. and it's really going to be because Josh is not on the same page as the Bucks, but the Bucks are probably going to take the fall, and Don Callis is going to blame them for the loss, have the family jump them, and then Kenny and maybe even Jack and Luchasaurus make the save on Saturday. But I thought this was, out of all the builds going into Saturday, I thought this was one of, if not the most effective of the night.
Well, you know why Kenny Omega.
Oh, am I frozen again? Or is this finally Jeremy is frozen? Because this would be really bad if we were both having internet issues at the same time. Oh, it was you. Okay, cool.
I think that's
yeah. When you freeze, I'm just gonna talk. I'm just gonna talk and be hopeful that it's not me.
Oh, as I was saying, you know why Kenny Omega can't have a singles match right now, right? Washed. He's washed. That's why. The GOAT is washed. That's why he's got to do tag and 6-man matches.
I love when there are fans like that will seriously say that, and you're like, am I just blind? Did I not see him versus Takeshita this year? Did I not see him versus Gabe Kidd this year? Did I not see him versus?
That was earlier this year. That was forever ago.
He drained all of his abilities. Got drained at that loss against Okada at all.
Yeah,
that was it.
Yes,
that was all of the powers he had left.
SP3, you know it doesn't take that long when it comes to this, right? What did Klay Thompson shoot?
Yeah, I mean, we are not doing this. See, this is why Tony Khan has frozen. He's frozen Jeremy again because he was about to make the comparison of Kenny Omega and Klay Thompson. This is ridiculous.
Let me get this out here. What did Klay Thompson shoot from 3 last year? 39%. The season ended in April, May, June. It ended in April. What happened? 6 months went by. That's it. 6 months went by. And now what's he shooting? 31%. He shot an air ball last night when he tried to tie the game. A dead-on shot. It went from the corner. It went from the wing. It was a dead-on shot. And he shot an air ball. Washed. In what? Just a number of months. It doesn't take long for this to happen. SP3. Yes. Kenny Omega, Klay Thompson. I said it. No one else will speak the truth except for me.
This is why you had the glitch in between that whole big rant. It's because they don't want you. They don't want this blasphemy.
They don't want the truth out there.
What are you talking about?
It's not blasphemy. It's the truth.
If he's any one of the Splash Brothers, he's Steph Curry. He is still balling. He's still balled out this year. Gave us some of the best matches of the year. I was doing my matches of the year. Kenny Omega versus Gabe Kidd, top 5 match of the year. Kenny, what are we talking about? He gives us something special like that in January. We're supposed to say he's washed by November when he's still up fingers in these multi-man matches. He's still the best part about most of the multi-man matches he's been a part of this year. Be the best part about the matchup at Full Gear on Saturday. What the hell are we talking about?
I like how your argument is, in January he was doing all of this, so how can he not do this in November? That is credence.
I love.
What? Here, hold on.
You did the whole social media hater thing of I'm going to only take part of what you said, and I'm going to dissect that. And
I will dissect the whole argument, SP3.
He's the best part of every single trios match.
I will dissect the whole argument. You froze there, not me. I will dissect the whole argument. Let's start with the January thing. Going back to Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson shot 43% from 3 in January. What's he shooting in November? 0%, it feels like. So Kenny Omega had a great match in January. Great, that's January. Klay Thompson, the greatest shooter of all time. Because let's not forget how great he shot the ball in January. It's November.
What type of great shooting stretch did Klay Thompson have in July? None, because they don't play in July. But you know who?
He probably shot fantastic. He was in the gym. He was in the gym just shooting by himself. He shot his shot with Megan Thee Stallion. That worked out well.
Ladies and gentlemen, this man was in a 5-star matchup in August. What are we talking about? Why are we doing this? Why are we entertaining this nonsense?
The best part, he's the best part of a 6-man tag. I'm sure Klay Thompson shoots great in the gym during practice because that's all the 6-man tags are. That's all they are. They are just practice out here. They ain't real matches. They don't count for anything.
Literally tag team matches, trios matches, multi-man matches is the closest example of comparison that we would have to an NBA game, where he is the best part of all these multi-man matches, just like Steph Curry is the best player on the court when he was against the San Antonio Spurs with the unicorn Victor Wembanyama. Still, Steph Curry's putting 49 on their head, and you can put Kenny Omega in a 6-man, 8-man tag with Kyle Fletcher, one of the best wrestlers in AEW today, with Hangman Page, the wrestler of the year, and he still is the best part of those matches.
6-man matches are just practice. Tag team matches are just practice. You want to be considered the GOAT. You want to be considered, do you still have it? You want to be considered the best wrestler in the world? I need to see it one-on-one. That's where things are settled out here. Not in 6-man matches. Not in tag team matches. I bet you think Skyflight is great because they have very fun 6-man matches. How are they doing? What's their trajectory with everything? Skyflight, great practice team. You put them in there when it really matters. Where are they at? Nowhere. Same spot they've always been. Skyrocket's not in flight because they stay grounded the entire time. But, they're great in practice. They're demons in practice out here. You should see these guys in practice. Oh, man. And then they get there out on the court. Can't hang. Can't do anything when they're actually on the court.
I'm not even going to justify this with a response. I'm not even going to justify this with a response. He said 6-man tags are in practice. They ain't thousands of people watching the matchup. They ain't no, it's just practice. Just practice. This is the same man. This is the same man who's gonna try to ridicule and diminish the Bubble Championship as well. So I'm not surprised.
That's what New Japan is when Kenny Omega goes over there. Oh, you go to New Japan and have a great match. Oh, fantastic. The Tokyo Dome boost and everything.
Yeah, because there ain't going to be 40,000 people in the Tokyo Dome on January 4th. No, that's just practice. Practice in front of 40,000 people. There's a shoot around in front of 40,000.
That's the Bubble Championship. Kenny Omega having a great match in the Tokyo Dome. Oh, it's so hard. Everyone says it's the toughest title to win. Oh, no. Get out of here with that. The conditions are easy for everyone because you don't have anything else going on. You go to Japan and all you're thinking about is wrestling. That's all you do when you go to Japan. All right, I got to lock in for this. You ain't got the real world holding you down and distracting you and causing all the issues out here like you got in America. Japan, you're laser focused on the wrestling, and that makes it easier for you. Oh, everyone has to do the same condition. Yes, that's what makes it easier. That's why they have so many great matches in Japan. You come to America, you try to have a real good match. You can't do it. It's far more difficult. That's why he's washed.
Like, this man hasn't had 6-star, 5-star matches in America. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, years ago, great. Klay Thompson won championships years ago. He's washed now.
He won a championship this year with Omega. What are you talking about?
That title doesn't matter.
What's the draw at the Tokyo Dome? Drew a big crowd at the Tokyo Dome. Won an international
draws.
championship. Hell,
Oh, we're talking about draws. Come on now. Get out of here. Talking about people who draw. That has nothing to do with ability in the ring.
yes, it does.
Put butts in seats. Who cares about that?
He puts butts in seats. He's one of the best performers out there. Yo, Jeremy is like, you would do great at that. What's that? House of Highlights, fan versus hater. You would do great at that. You would do so good at. Like, I'm just sitting back here. I'm like, that was the main reason why I have no response, because I was mesmerized by this virtuoso performance. Like, I was just like, God damn, this is really good hated, because like nobody that pops on this show that never watched the show before that will legitimately believe Jeremy, and that will become their argument on social media this week.
Oh man. My wife just texted me and she just goes, I cannot believe you come up with this insanity off the top of your head. Like, yeah, I don't have any preparation for this. I did not come on the show today and be like, you know, it'd be great if I compared Kenny Omega to Klay Thompson. That'll get people really upset. Like, nah, just throw it out there and let me just. I've said this before. I'm the embodiment of the Michael Scott. Sometimes I just start a sentence and I don't know where it's going and I just pick it up along the way. That is what I do. The difference between me and Joel is Joel believes all of the stuff that he says. I'm just out here just bullshitting for the fun of it.
Jeremy will crack a smile in between. Joel will just smile but keep going. His mouth don't stop moving. He'll just be like, but I'm still here. I'm still here. Just because you prove me wrong doesn't mean I'm wrong. I'm still here. I still believe it.
And Joel get visibly annoyed like when you like clap back at him and are like, what do you mean? No, this is how it is. And he will get like actually annoyed, especially when the screaming starts, which is understandable. I do respect that, or I do feel bad when I start screaming and it hurts his ears and everything. But he'll get like annoyed when I go into that kind of mode with him. I don't take any of this shit serious. I think it's hilarious that I'm comparing Kenny Omega to Klay Thompson.
It is hilarious. It is hilarious. I had to commend you for that. Like, that was impressive.
They're both washed.
This dude right here. Oh my god. Oh my god. I can't with this guy.
I don't have anything to add on this segment. I can't top anything of that.
We're getting a elite reunion at Full Gear, and it's gonna probably be one of the best matches on the show. So yeah. And like I said, I thought it was one of the more effective builds to Saturday show on last night's show.
I mean, I agree, because I thought the rest of the show, it was fine, but here's my what is the Dark Side comments? Vala, repeat it. I was in the zone just a few minutes ago. I wasn't paying attention to the comments.
He said Dark Side don't do singles matches, so they only do practice. They're a practice squad. They're the 7 and 59 Charlotte Bobcats.
Is that what was said? I get too much in the zone right there. I'm not paying attention to comments right there. I'm laser focused out here. I don't see nothing but the rim and the net, everybody. That's all.
Like, I just gotta keep calling for the rock. Give me the rock. Give me the rock. I'm gonna shoot it.
You get the hand in my face, you can throw the double at me, it doesn't matter. Nope. I'm rising up over that and I'm shooting that thing, all right? I don't know what the comments were. I don't feel like scrolling back, so repeat the comments. Kenny Thompson is nothing on Dark State. Oh, why is John Alba here? I mean, I appreciate the John Alba. Why is John Alba here? Hello, John Alba.
Hello, John Alba.
Because I don't know why I do this to myself. Again, I was showering, and
oh, that's good. I'm glad you're showering.
For some reason, I turned this on for some reason.
That's a mistake.
And it just tell me about it. And it just your conversation reminded me of the time that you held that draft thing, and I just came on and pretended it was the 2008 draft. Like in
I remember that.
Yeah. and it took most people probably 10 minutes to figure out what the actual bit was during that. I don't know why that just triggered my head, and I just had to tell you about that.
This show's dumb as hell, dude.
Really, so that's what I appreciate. No one loves non sequitur more than me. I truly love things that do not connect to one another in any way or form. And as a legitimate sports journalist, if you haven't heard, it resonated deeply with me, your comparison, and I think it's insane. But
Thank you. I mean, we gotta get that out of the way.
You know what though? Maybe it's not as insane as you think, because part of me, there's no doubt in my mind that in Tony Khan's head for a lot of this stuff, he thinks of things in sports equitable terms of like what would be our equivalent to a practice squad? What would be our I have no doubt that these are real things that Tony, who is very high up in the professional sports world, he's used terminology like that before in press conferences, in media calls.
I could totally see him going backstage and being like, Kenny Omega is Brett Favre in 2003. We're the Green Bay Packers. We got to slow him down. We got to put in an Aaron Rodgers.
Well, no, he'd be like, well, it was December 17th, 2002, when Michael Strahan was chasing Mark Gastineau's sack record, and he came after Brett Favre, and Favre dove, and a lot of people didn't think that it was a legitimate sack, but in the record books, it was a legitimate sack. So,
Tony, yes.
So I think we're having a great year. Michael Strahan's having a great year too. No, I mean, look, I do think he legitimately looks at his roster. I'm not trolling here. I think he looks at his roster very akin to how a sports team and a franchise is constructed. And maybe that's part of the reason why there isn't as much upward mobility, it seems, where there's a commitment to some people in AEW. Like every now and then someone breaks through, like Fletcher right now is breaking through, right? Like I think we can agree on that. He's positioning himself in a big way where Kyle Fletcher's going to be a main event guy in AEW. It's going to happen. But you had the Wardlow types. You had the Dante Martins many years ago. There are a lot of people who there's maybe an opening for an opportunity, but even if they get that temporary push towards that, they're regulated back to the bench. And I do think there's probably a method to how he thinks about these things like that. So, Jeremy, for as insane as that comparison was, I don't think it's entirely far-fetched.
I 100% think he thinks of these people as sports stars, effectively. Because you mentioned it, he's made these comparisons before. Usually it's about like people who are on the bench and stuff. It's like, you can't play everybody, and
right.
You sit people, and then rotations and all of this stuff. So I 100% think he thinks of it in this way. I don't think he is being like, well, Kenny Omega's our Klay Thompson, and we can't trust him in these big singles matches.
But I should ask him today who the NBA equivalent of Kenny Omega is.
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah,
that's a very good question.
Considering Ariel Helwani asked every question that we wanted to know, so we may as well just start throwing them at him, right?
Please reference In the Weeds. Like they made the comparison.
But and then they respond, who am I to question the point guard? But I
thank you.
I think it's more like if it were my decorum and my, if I was the point guard in this situation, I'd be wanting to know who like the Bosch John Nockbar of the NBA of the AEW roster is. I want to know who the Sean Leonard is, the Peja Stojakovic. Like these are the role players that I care
Vlade
about.
Divac.
And it's because we're just built differently, I suppose you could say.
Here's who you got to ask them. Who is this person in AEW?
No, I'm serious. I'm dead serious. The MVP of the NBA. I'm not making this up. For AEW Rampage, ladies and gentlemen, the Greek Freak, Giannis Antetokounmpo.
So, this is a true story, and I'm not going to throw anyone under the bus here. publicly.
Text it to me later.
But I have in the past worked with an individual who was doing a Giannis highlight and called him Greek the Greek, which is not his nickname, if you haven't heard. And I think it was partially because they didn't want to pronounce his full name. So I give Tony Khan credit for going the distance with that, even if he barely made the distance. But he did make it. So
He screamed halfway through.
you know, look, man, that's joy. I'm not shitting on Tony. That's joy. That's
Oh yeah. No, we think it's great.
No, we think Tony's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm saying for something like that, like that's the fun, right? That's get excited. I get excited about nothing. I'm sitting at Madison Square Garden the other night as Dolph Ziggler makes his return. Everyone around me is like ripping their shirts off style, and I'm just like, yeah.
He's like, check if I got.
Wow.
I'm like, I gotta beat the traffic. But no, I've become, and this is partially my fault. I've become so desensitized to consuming stuff. I mean, when you're in like sports journal, you have to like turn it off, right? And you're just supposed to watch things. I mean, Sid, I don't know if you've been in press boxes with me before. Like I sit there and I just stare, and so I can appreciate the excitement. That's all I'm saying.
It's genuine. That's why it's
genuine.
Yeah, like I never understood the hatred towards him. It's ridiculous to me.
All right, Alba. Here's the question when you're on the media call. Jeremy Lambert of In the Weeds called Kenny Omega the Klay Thompson of AEW. Your thoughts?
I like Jeremy a lot.
He's definitely not starting with that. He'll honestly probably start with, "Oh, I'm surprised Jeremy didn't want to ask about loving on me."
All right, I'm out. Enjoy the week.
Thanks, Alpha.
Thank you, John. See you on Saturday, John. Oh man, you see the.
I don't know where we go from here. Who gives a fuck about the rest of Dynamite? Who cares about the rest of Dynamite? We've peaked on this show.
We think that Kenny Omega is Klay Thompson.
Yeah, we've completely peaked at this point. We can't go any further than this. I don't know what happened on Dynamite besides that. That was the only thing that happened.
Ricochet cut a promo and got squashed. He said the promo took too long and the squash took too long, but it happened. It opened the show. I don't know why. That happened. What else happened on the show?
You didn't like that?
Huh?
I said you didn't like the promo and the squash?
I thought it was funny, Ricochet being like, and something else, but it just went on a little too long for me. Like I was just like, and it just made Bobby look stupid for just standing there and letting him keep going on and on and on. I understand the referee was standing in front of him, but it would. I thought that the squash would have been more effective if you let him do the long ass promo. Or you do the whole thing where he tosses him out of the ring, put him back in the ring, spear him 1, 2, 3. I don't need a 4-minute squash. I need just him to just destroy him after he took 5 minutes to say nothing.
Oh, that's fair. I can understand that because I did think like it was going too long as well. I was like, all right, does this have a point? Is this going anywhere? I was like, Bobby Lashley should legitimately just kick his ass off of this. This should not be a competitive match after all that. And it wasn't, so I did appreciate that. I see where you're coming from of, all right, do the squash a little bit quicker and end it. I think they wanted, Ricochet didn't even really get shine in the match at all.
I also don't like that treatment of Ricochet too much, but honestly, I was talking with Alex on the post show yesterday, and we both came to the realization that this was done purposely to get us off the scent that Ricochet is winning the title on Saturday.
Yeah, I can see that happening. I didn't mind this though. I thought it was going too long, but I like that they did an actual squash and they didn't do a competitive match after.
Yeah, that would have made no sense.
Yeah, so I didn't hate the overall segment when it came to this. Lashley should finger poke Shelton Benjamin and win the national title. That's where I'm at.
I won't say you're wrong because Shelton Benjamin, man, this dude still got it. Oh my god, at 50 years old, he still got it. I love that matchup with Speedball. The finish be damned, because that, I feel like that's the referee's fault. You just counted 3. That would have been it would have been a perfect finish. If you just count 3, that's a perfect finish. Even if Speedball was supposed to kick out and he was kind of knock loopy because of that, the ref is always supposed to count the 3, work the matchup like it is a shoot. That was a dope matchup. I felt like out of the first 3 or so matches, that was like my favorite, because it just felt like Speedball has been the best signing to me this year for AEW. If it's not him, it's probably Kevin Knight or Megan Bayne. But to me, Speedball's been the best because he's gotten these great matches out of people that you traditionally would be like, oh, I don't know if they're gonna do it, or they used to do it, but not so much now. And he's able to do that with them. I really feel that Speedball was the difference maker in Okada's year. The Double or Nothing matchup really changed Okada's year, and we'll talk about Okada having another really good to great matchup on last night's show. But like, I think that Speedball is so good because he could step in there with pretty much anyone and just deliver these very good to great matches. And he did that with Shelton. It was hard hitting. That thrust kick at the end, I wouldn't be surprised if that knocked him loopy, because that turned him inside out. He had all his power going into it. The German suplex looked good. You had him going over the top rope with the armbar. The armbar transition and the submissions and stuff were really well done in that matchup. Really good stuff from both guys.
Speedball is the Alex Caruso of AEW.
Okay.
I feel like that's fair.
That's fair. That's fair. I was going to say DeAndre Ayton, but you're right. You're right. That was last year. You know. Come on, dog. He's looking like a very good. He's looking like one of the key acquisitions of the offseason.
I will say a nice thing about DeAndre Ayton here in a second. I'm trying to think of, how the DeAndre Ayton comparison fits, and I guess
your Caruso one is much better. I was just trying to say something about the Lakers.
Okay, I'll say fair. I'll say something nice about DeAndre Ayton. It's kind of nice about DeAndre Ayton. It's kind of mean about somebody else. I was watching the Lakers and Bucks game the other week, and I was thinking, I can't believe the Bucks paid Miles Turner like $30 million to suck this much, and the Lakers are paying DeAndre Ayton like $2 million to like put up twice the numbers he is.
Outperform Giannis and Wemby.
Yeah, I mean that's a little bit different, because Giannis and Wemby are going to get the full attention on stuff, and those teams aren't good. The Spurs are a little bit better, but the Bucks team really isn't.
The Spurs are a good team. The Bucks, not so much. I mean, we kind of knew that at the beginning of the season. They just fooled us because Giannis was playing out of his mind the first month of the year.
Yeah, but the Miles Turner thing, it's just like, man, you guys paid $30 million to Miles Turner. And here's DeAndre Ayton just giving you 10 and 10 most nights on a veteran max contract. Jesus.
Yep. People was you and everybody else was sleeping on this man. Because this is the role that he was doing well at in the Suns, where he was like the third option on the Sun. On this team, he's like the fourth option when LeBron is fully ready to go. Like that's his way he's gonna be the most comfortable at, and he's gonna get the best looks and the best shots. So I think that this is going to be a role that, it's still early in the season, but I think that overall this is going to be a good pickup for the Lakers, it seems like.
And look, he's playing much better than I definitely thought he was. It's still, we'll see how things go later in the season, and the pressure begins to mount a little bit on the Lakers and how everything works, because the West kind of sucks right now. I feel like nobody's playing good teams right now. Houston's played some good teams, but
it's because the top 6 teams in the West are just so much better than every other team in the West. Like, everybody thought that the West was going to be like oh, there's gonna be like 12 teams that are gonna be really good. No, there are like 2 great teams in the West, and then there are like 6 really good teams in the rest overall. But everybody else, there's some teams that are good, there's some teams that are bad, but they're gonna look worse because those first 6 teams, they are very, very good, and they have Luka Doncic and Steph Curry on it, and Wemby is kind of it's like in the 7th team. It seems like the Warriors, Timberwolves, and Spurs are kind of in the same kind of tier, just trading spots. But like the Lakers, Rockets, Nuggets, and Thunder are probably not going to be removed from the top 4. The Thunder are just going to sit on top. The Nuggets are probably going to be right behind them, and the Lakers and Rockets are going to be competing for that 3rd spot.
It doesn't feel like any of these teams play each other is my annoyance with everything.
Yeah,
we just played the Lakers.
You watched. It's because you watched the other teams that fast in the first time that you played them. So no, it doesn't feel like you actually really even played them.
I was looking at the Lakers schedule, and they just played the Jazz, and then they don't play again until Sunday. And who did they play? The Jazz. And the Thunder, we just played the Kings last night. Who do we play on Friday? The Jazz. Like, can we stop playing like the Kings and the Jazz and all these teams? Like, I want to see these teams play like good teams, and right now it just doesn't seem like anybody's playing good teams. AEW, back to that show that happened.
The NBA interlude.
Yeah. Mercedes Moné won her 13th or 14th championship, depending on 14th. How you look at things. Well, yeah, her 14th physical title. Yes, her 14th physical title. But it's combined with the ROH. It's the undisputed ROH Women's Television Championship now. She won. She beat Red Velvet. No real shocker there. And then after the match, she hit the Meteora on Chris Statlander because she was dancing on the table, and then Stat tried to show her title, and Mercedes like, all right, bitch, I'm just gonna hit you with my knees. They finally got broken up after Mercedes locked in the bank statement as well, and so that's your heat for Full Gear on Saturday. I like Mercedes' like lung blower mid rope finish there.
Dude,
that was
ridiculous.
That was nuts. Yeah.
This was a great match.
Yeah,
I thought
really
you kind of just talked over it real quick.
I don't do match by match. I leave that to you.
You usually will compliment a matchup if you thought it was good, but I thought Red Velvet, this was probably the best I've ever seen from her. Like, she looked really good. She hasn't wrestled in months, since like July, and then came out here and really had one of her better performances. She looked good. The transitions looked good. She had good chemistry with Mercedes. They sprinkled in a little bit of a story with Red Velvet taking a page out of Mercedes' inspiration to become a wrestler, and Red Velvet says that Mercedes was her inspiration to become a wrestler. So you got that 2-3 degrees of separation right there. That was a nice little spot in the matchup. I thought the first long blower that she hit on Red Velvet looked vicious. The second one, it looked like that knee cracked her right in the head. And yet that was the second worst bump off the top rope of the night. But like that was a great spot, great finish to the matchup. And I was glad that it was the finish. AEW is starting to learn over the last couple of weeks. We mentioned this with the Hangman and Powerhouse Hobbs match last week, where they ended on the big spot. AEW is tending to get that, even though we did have the botch with the Speedball and Shelton matchup, where that was the peak of the matchup, and it needs to end right there. But in this one, in the main event, they learned their lesson, and they did end on the biggest spot.
So I was very happy that Red Velvet did not kick out of this, because I was like, oh, that should be, how are you going to kick out of that? That looks nuts. And she didn't. I was like, oh, good. They didn't do just a kick out just to hit the money maker or go into the statement maker, bank statement, whatever you want to call it, out there. So, yeah, I was glad that was the actual finish of this match. And then the post match with Statlander and Mercedes, that was good. It added a little extra. So as I was gonna say before, I think this is all before we got into the Kenny and Clay stuff, and then Alba jumped on. I was gonna say, when it came to this show as like a go home show, like it did some, because you mentioned the elite stuff being the best stuff, and like I agree, because there was more to that than everything else, because it felt like everything else on this show was just like, hey, let's do a confrontation, a promo, something pretty short and to the point, because they've kind of already done a really good job of setting up all of the other stuff. And for the most part, I mean, up and down the card, it's nothing but rematches. And so you can only do so much in setting that kind of stuff up anyway. And yeah, so I thought that's why the elite stuff was the best stuff on the show as far as setting up their match, because it is a fresh matchup. There are new angles with it, where everything else on this card, it's like, yeah, you kind of announced the stipulations last week. We already know the stakes and everything. And these are all rematches, so how much more can you really add the week of the go home show?
Yeah, a lot of the build to Full Gear was, hey guys, we got this match that's going on. Here's a reminder. Here's a Pac promo, because Pac is facing Darby Allin, and that Pac promo was really good, and it supported my argument that Pac should be the leader of the Death Riders. I saw somebody in the chat yesterday on the Fightful post show say, "Oh, I wanted Claudio to be the leader and Pac to be the mouthpiece." I will let y'all know, there's only a few times that the leader and the mouthpiece are two different people. That is if there is a mouthpiece that's good enough to be the mouthpiece, like a Paul Heyman for the Dangerous Alliance or Eric Bischoff for the NWO. If it is another wrestler that is the mouthpiece and he's not the leader, it is usually because he is the better talker, but the leader is the better wrestler, i.e. AJ Styles being the leader of the Bullet Club and Carl Anderson being the mouthpiece for the Bullet Club. Or the guy who's the mouthpiece probably can't be the leader because he's not as good as the leader, but he is still good on the mic, and you want to get him time, you want to get him shine in some way outside of like just being the enforcer, i.e. R. Anderson in the Four Horsemen. He was kind of the mouthpiece to Ric Flair being the leader. I say all of this to tell you, Pac and Claudio don't qualify in any of those ranges. Claudio is not better than Pac in the ring. He's just not. He's not AJ Styles to Carl Anderson in this situation. What? No. Pac is actually better than Claudio in the ring, and he's the better talker. He should just be the leader. Why are y'all making this more difficult than it needs to be? I understand a lot of y'all like Claudio, but we moved on from Claudio Castagnoli being a main event star. I'm sorry. We did. I know it's only been 3 years in AEW, but I don't see that happening here. I just don't. I can see a chance for Pac, because Pac has pretty much been presented as an upper mid-card fringe main eventer since the beginning of AEW. So he makes the most sense to take over the role of leader of the Death Riders. It just is what it is. I just presented logic and facts to y'all, and I'm sorry if it goes against what y'all feel, what y'all want. Sorry. All of this to say, go ahead.
What if you can't be the leader of the Death Riders unless you're bald?
He's already one step away. He's cut the long hair, and now he's got the short hair. If he gotta go bald, that's what he gotta do. It was a good promo by him, but oh my god, that is the only good thing that I have to say about the Death Riders on this show. Why did that match happen? I'm still confused. It's almost been like 16 hours since Dynamite, and I have been legitimately confused on why Jon Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli are having a tag team match unannounced and 1 week after Blood and Guts. I understand the story is, Moxley doesn't want to show weakness. That's the whole thing. It totally killed the men's Blood and Guts for me as soon as they came out. I will say they did help out the women's tag match, so I wasn't as upset to see Mina out here just dancing after the women's Blood and Guts, because I was too pissed off with Jon Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli still fighting the conglomeration after Blood and Guts. Blood and Guts is merely a minor inconvenience to continue a rivalry, it seems like, in AEW. God damn.
Well, SP3, if you listened to Tony Khan on Twitter 30 minutes before the show, went on the air, he would have told you that Jon Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli were not happy with how Blood and Guts went. So they were. No, let me finish. Let me finish.
I saw Collision. I know the story. I know the story. Guess what? No one watches Collision except for us. So do a promo. Do a promo to set up the matchup. He already did the promo on the Collision, but he should have done a promo on this goddamn show. And the Death Riders should be questioning this man after he just quit on them and made them lose Blood and Guts. Do a promo where these guys actually question him and be like, I don't know if you're still the same guy. And then the conglomeration comes out and say, hey, you wanted a tag team match, you wanted a match with any of us at any time. Let's do it right now. That's a better setup than Tony Khan on his fucking social media telling me, oh, they're really mad, so we're going to add this match at the last fucking minute for no goddamn reason when it doesn't need to be on this fucking show. It would have been much more effective to do a fucking promo after the fucking Blood and Guts.
You're more mad than the Death Riders of wanting to face the conglomeration.
Because I was so happy about Blood and Guts. And it's like he effectively was just like, nah, it wasn't that big of a deal. Here's Mina, here's John, here's Claudio, here's the conglomeration, here's like, dude.
Oh, delayed grats, you're very far off, at least this week. Collision did like barely over 200, and Dynamite last week did 600. So these numbers are not even close.
They did 400K more. What you said Dynamite got, that's the difference between Dynamite and Collision's ratings this past week.
Yeah.
So, yes, it was good follow-up for the Death Riders on Collision last Saturday. I will say that. I will say it on the podcast this Saturday on Real Heat as well. It was not good follow-up on the Death Riders on Dynamite last night. It just wasn't. It just wasn't. They should not be wrestling 1 week after Blood and Guts. And we should hear from Jon Moxley on this show. Not just on Collision, not just on commentary on Collision, on this show. We should have heard from him at least before the tag team match.
I don't like anybody wrestling a week or less than after these kind of matches. You know, I understand it doesn't need to be like WWE where people disappear for 3 weeks after these matches, but they also like said, shouldn't be wrestling that week.
He could have done a promo on last night's show. Like the amount of time that they did that matchup, I'd much rather had a promo in that time than what we got.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. Because remember, like when Hangman and Moxley wrestled on the show after All In, I was like, why are they wrestling on this show? There's got to be a balance of selling the gravity of the match that happened and making these people superhuman of like, oh, well, we don't want them to just go away. They don't have to go away. But also, when you do a Texas death match like that, when you do a Blood and Guts match, they should probably at least take a week off from in-ring activity to show like, hey, this match sucked, and we shouldn't just be bouncing back so quickly. I mean, Garcia and Yuta wrestled on Saturday. And Claudio, they were right back in the ring.
Well, like they had a little bit. I was
they faced
to look
dorks.
past that. Yeah, and they faced dorks, and they were the guys that out of the Death Riders did not take the most damage in the matchup. Jon Moxley was the guy who tapped out for the team. And at least if you're gonna sell if the story is, oh, John is not gonna show weakness, that's why he's gonna wrestle in the matchup. Let him say that. Let him say that on the show. It was just weird way to book. It was a good matchup though. Orange Cassidy and Roderick Strong versus Moxley and Claudio. Good matchup. I don't agree with the finish either of the matchup though, because you told us on commentary, Jon Moxley, he hasn't been the same. He's been losing all these matches and all in Texas. Even though I remember he beat Darby Allin in the coffin match at All Out. I remember he beat Roderick Strong on September to remember right before that matchup. I remember these things. Don't lie to me. Don't tell me it's raining when you're spitting in my face. That's what AEW did a lot with the Death Riders booking last night. They was like, oh, this happened, but it's something else. It's like, no, it's just that. It's just what happened. Oh man, he's on this losing streak, and then he wins. He wins. Oh, but it's because the Death Riders help him. Oh, it was more Claudio did the work, and then John just took the credit. Okay, that's all fine and dandy. That's nice excuses. That's nice story. But the effective way to get across this story is probably Orange Cassidy and Roderick Strong win the matchup. They could have beat Claudio because Moxley was going to go for a clothesline. Orange moved and he hit Claudio by mistake. So Claudio takes the pinfall, but it's really Moxley's fault. Solved it for you. Come on. It's so simple, the stuff that they could have done right with the Death Riders and just did wrong last night.
And Kyle O'Reilly comes out. He puts the ankle lock on Moxley and challenges him to a no-holds-barred match at Full Gear. Oh.
And why is it a no-holds-barred? Oh my God, they got everything wrong. Why is this a no-holds-barred match, Jeremy?
Well, because O'Reilly wants to prove that he can fight Moxley in his element of, all right, let's bring in the tacks and the glass and whatever else you want to do. Because I already beat you. Guys. Yeah, and I already beat you in a singles match. So now I'm going to beat you in this style of match.
But not a submission match because, that would have made too much sense. That would have been too logical to do a submission match. We got to do a no-holds-barred matchup on the same show that has a no disqualification matchup. And a steel cage match. Yeah. Okay.
What's the no DQ match?
Briscoe and Fletcher is a no DQ match.
Oh, I forgot that was no DQ.
Yeah,
okay,
that's no DQ. For a minute I thought they were gonna make the $1 million trios match a street fight because of the shovel and the vacuum cleaner. I was like, oh, they're gonna make that a street fight because everything gotta have a stipulation. I guess I don't know.
Wait until the tailgate brawl when they announce that as a street fight.
Oh man, and also, last thing for the Death Riders. Why do I have so much hesitation about this matchup? I really feel like Moxley's gonna win because of how they booked last night. Yeah. It makes me feel like they're gonna completely say, yeah, that's great. You guys loved Blood and Guts. Fuck Blood and Guts. Moxley's winning against our you're just complete. You diminish the effectiveness of Blood and Guts a bit with the booking of the Death Riders, and for the women we'll talk about that. But for the men's Blood and Guts, you definitely diminished the impact of the victory last week by having them wrestle on this show. But you will completely erase any type of impact, any type of momentum that Kyle O'Reilly has if he just loses on Saturday.
Pac's gonna win. Moxley's gonna win.
I do think Pac should win. That goes along with my booking. That Pac should win, Moxley should lose, so that sets up the turn.
No, I agree with you, but I'm saying that Pac's gonna win, Moxley's gonna win, the Death Riders are just gonna hug, and then everything's gonna be all copacetic. It's like, you're still the guy, Moxley. You proved yourself against O'Reilly. We're all good here. Things are good.
I'm gonna cry on Saturday in the building. I'm gonna be in Newark. John Alba or Cresta Star or Kate's gonna be next to me. Be like, SP3, why are you crying? I was like, John Moxley just won. They just ruined one of my favorite finishes of the year.
I know you're a professional and you won't do this, but I need you to go to the press conference and be like, oh yeah, yes, Tony, SP3 True Hill Heat in the weeds. Why the fuck are you giving John Moxley the victory here? What the fuck is wrong with you? What are you doing, Blood and Guts? You ruined the whole thing. What the fuck, Tony?
I'm gonna have a rant. I'm gonna treat him like it's in the weeds. I'm gonna go all calm. Oh yes, SP3, simple R. The takedown was on Sports Illustrated and True Hill Heat. I just wanted to ask you the simple question. What the fuck is wrong with you? Oh my God, that would be so great. I wish. Oh, man.
That would be great. You're too professional for all of that. You can't be doing that. That would not be. I mean, it'd be hilarious for us.
You'd never get invited to.
Yeah, you would never get invited. Yeah. I mean, it'd be memorable though. When AEW, whenever they stop doing this, that might be the point where they stop doing the press conferences. But top 3 press conference moments would be the CM Punk moment, SP3, and I don't know what the third is, but those are definitely the top 2. Somebody coming over to inform, or Chris Jericho coming over to inform that something happened backstage.
Yes.
That's the third moment.
That's the top 3 moment right there. Yeah.
Just Tony Storm, I guess. Tony Storm reading.
Yeah, Tony Storm in general.
Just all of her stuff. Yeah. Guys, I got you super jazzed. I was saving all of them until the end of the Dynamite review, so I'm not skipping anything out here. I was just I know we're talking about a lot of different things, and Delayed Gretz mentioned something about Mercedes, but I was just going until the end of Dynamite altogether. So I got it though. Don't worry, everybody. Women's Tag Team Title Tournament. Anna Jay and Ty Mello lost, and people are very mad online about them losing to
They
Megan
are?
Bayne. Yeah, people are not happy because they're like, Anna and Ty were the original tag team, and how come they didn't at least win one match? This doesn't seem right. Yeah, people are mad, SP3. I didn't think they were gonna win, especially.
Wait. Can we laugh at those people? Can we have a moment of laughter? A moment of laughter for those people who actually thought Ty J were gonna win. They're the original AEW tag team. What are you talking about, guys? They're the originals. They deserve more respect.
Yeah. People are mad about it.
I can't believe this. This is like news to me.
I thought they were gonna win when it was Megan and Penelope, because all right, Penelope can take the loss there. But once Marina got into that group, I was like, oh no, sorry. Yeah. Sorry guys. Like if you were planning to win that first match, that changed because they ain't pinning Megan, they ain't pinning Marina, so you guys are screwed.
If you really wanted them to win something, then you should have been pleading to Tony Khan to make it a 16-team tournament. If it was a 16-team tournament, they would have got one win, and they got some wins to set them up.
They beat High in Maya World. It's fine, you know.
Yeah, they did. They did do that.
People say, I don't know why they thought Ty J would win. I didn't know Ty J had stands. Everybody has stands. Come on now.
This is true.
Especially the women's wrestlers. Yeah.
And I think mostly it's a lot of I saw some people asking for it, but most of those people are like hardcore day one AEW fans. So they're like, they have seniority, they should be winning. When Megan Bayne has obviously been like pushed to the moon. Yeah. She looked good last night. Marina Shafir looked good last night. And like I was talking to Alex because I told him like one of the last times I did a show with Alex was AEW Dynasty, and he was very upset with Tony Storm beating Megan Bayne on that show because he felt like Megan Bayne should be pushed to the moon. Like she was ready for that. And I was reflecting on that, and I was like, they kind of have got her back to where she was pre-Dynasty by just keeping her strong for the last 7 months coming off of that loss. She hasn't lost since that Tony Storm loss. They've kept her strong. She looked great in the women's Blood and Guts. Her and Marina look like potentially favorites to one day at least hold the AEW Women's Tag Team Championships if they choose to continue on with their tag team. But she looked good last night. Ty J looked pretty decent as well. It was a good showing. I thought the better matchup of the two women's tag matches though were Timeless Love Bombs versus Alex Windsor and Riho. I thought those two teams worked really well with one another, and I like the fact that the story of the matchup was Timeless Love Bombs are the better tag team. They just know each other a lot more. They're on the same page. They started hitting their hip attacks, their Sweet Cheeks music, and then hits the Storm Zero by Tony on Alex Windsor for the win. So I thought the story was well done. The work was really good in the ring, especially Tony going at it with Windsor. So really enjoyed that one.
And it's all to set up the semifinals of the tag team tournament and a 4-way match with the 4 semifinalists and then the winning team gets to pick the stipulation for their semifinal match. I thought this was dumb as hell. I'm okay with the 4-way match. Now, do I think you should have just put the semifinals on Full Gear? Yes. And then if you want to do the finals on the Dynamite after, okay. But I think that would have been the better option. But fine, if you want to do a 4-way match because you want to do 2 matches or 1 match instead of 2, okay. But do we need an Eddie Kingston and Hook Open Challenge again? Where
no, we do not. I was like, we also could have just done for the semifinals on the pre-show and then the finals on the main card. Like there was multiple
I don't think they're
ways.
ever gonna do that.
I don't think they were ever going to do the 2 semifinals on this card.
Oh, I don't think so either. Clearly not.
They just totally botched the timing on this. Why? Like I understand, taking the point that this kind of goes in reverse of what I said previously of nobody watching Collision. But if you're gonna have a show, you might as well use it to have some maybe matches people want to see, maybe important matches with ramification and stakes on it. I don't know. Maybe 1 tournament match could happen on Collision the last 3 fucking weeks. Maybe we wouldn't be here on the Go Home show doing the last first round matches if you actually timed this out properly.
Yeah, it was weird of, hey, let's do these. I hope Maya Word and High End get a job out of all of this, but why are we doing throwaway tag matches when we have actual tournament tag matches to do?
This is the same shit that I complain about on Ring of Honor. Why are we getting multiple matches with Serena Deeb to build up to her first round matchup that
she loses?
I read the spoiler. Yes, thank you. I wasn't gonna say it. I was gonna leave it up to you. Spoil it. She loses. So you build her up. You had a whole bunch of squash matches on multiple weeks of Ring of Honor just for her to lose in the first round. Ty J beat High End and Maya World just for them to lose in the first round. Like it's just like you wasted so much time on multiple weeks of Collision. This show could have been the 2 semifinal matches and then the finals at Full Gear. Could have been very simple. Straightforward. Why are we having a 4-way to determine the stipulation for the semifinal matchup? So the semifinal matchup gets a stipulation, but the final matchup might not get a stipulation, and the other semifinal matchup is not as important as the final matchup the semifinal matchup that has a stipulation. All of this is a clusterfuck. Congratulations.
Yeah, I didn't get the let's do this 4-way and then they can pick the stipulation for a semifinal matchup. It doesn't. But you can't do it. Who gets the biggest stipulation in a final matchup? Because how do you set that up with everything? So, but just maybe don't do any type of stipulation thing. Just do your tournament as is, and you don't need to do a stipulation match in any of these matches.
At this point, what it really should have been is if you're just throwing things at the wall and doing things, then I much rather prefer this 4-way determine who's going to go to the final. And then they do a triple threat to determine who faces that person in the final. I'd rather that. That actually has some logic to it. This does not.
And Gray's saying to the attorney and maybe have the final as a ladder match. If you want to do a stipulation for the final, fine. It's dumb. Like it's just too much. You can just do a tournament. It's okay to just do this tournament we literally had a blood and guts match featuring this field anyway. So why do we need to do this stipulation stuff? I don't like it. But this is what they're doing. So we get the 4-way on Saturday as part of the tailgate brawl, and there you go with that. Kazuchika Okada defeated Mascara Dorada in a double Jeopardy match, and Okada once again just a fantastic little dickhead with this. It was rough at times. It was rough, but they saved it in the end. Okada won, and so now they get a shot at the Trios Championships, and it is going to be this weekend. So when we were talking about it yesterday, I thought maybe they said future title shot, so they didn't specify Full Gear. I did say, like, well, if it's going to be Full Gear, you got to effectively do Okada, Takeshita, and Hechicero, because Alexander has a match, Archer's in Japan. Rocky and Trent have matches. Clone is injured. Kyle Fletcher has a match. So you're going to do Hechicero, Mark Davis, and one of Okada and Takesha? That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. That's why I thought they would just delay it, because I didn't think El Sky Team was going to lose the titles. And I figured they would just beat Hechicero, Rocky, and Lance Archer 2 months from now.
That would be a waste if you're doing like a match on Dynamite, and especially being the go home show. I do agree that Dorada did look kind of off in the early going, but goddamn, when they got on the ball, I thought it was awesome. I thought they worked really well with each other down the closing stretch. And my God, that power bomb off the top rope reversal to the Hurricane Rana, he killed that man. He killed. This was another instance on the night where I was just like, Okada, just hit the Rainmaker. It's over. I didn't need Dorada to reverse the into the small package. I mean, him doing the extra move did prove that he was okay. So I think that was a benefit of him doing some extra moves before the finish. But that should have just been the finish. He dropped him right on his fucking head. That was great. Dorada is so good too. He's 23 years old, and like I said, he started off the match. He was kind of clunky. He was like mixed time spots, like you said. It looked kind of rough, but they got it together. They got a nice flow to it, and they kind of picked up where they left off at All Out back in September. So really good. It's a great matchup there as well on the show. But like I think to me last night, I think the main event was probably the best match of the show, Mercedes and Red Velvet.
We also had Samoa Joe on commentary for Hangman and Shibata, and Hangman won, pulling the Eddie Guerrero, loosen his boot, and then it comes off on the ankle lock. And Shibata had to stand there a little too long with the boot. He's like, what is this? And then he gets hit with the clothesline, and then he gets hit with the buckshot off of that. And then Hangman cuts a promo and says, hey, remember the last time I was in a cage, what I did to that man? I sent Shibata. He's going to the hospital. Hobbs is in the hospital. You're wearing a poncho, and I'm going to kill you on Saturday.
Wait, no, he said he sent Shibata to a dick surgeon.
Dick surgeon. Sorry, you're right.
Yeah. He low blowed him and said he sent
maybe he gets his dick cut off and then reattached. He's already has his brain removed and put back in. So
he's used to things coming off or out of him and putting it back in.
Yeah. It was. Yeah. The finish was not in doubt on this. Hangman's promo was fine. It felt very similar to last week, honestly, where he's like, I'm going to put Shibata in a hospital. I put Hobbs in the hospital. You wanted me in a cage. You know what I can do in a cage. We can do it in a cage. This was like, all right, you just kind of flipped a couple words around because now Shibata is in the hospital, and are you going to send him to the dick surgeon, and you reminding what's in the cage. Again, this was, like I was saying earlier, it's a rematch. You already added the stipulation. What more were you going to do with the build for this?
I would have done a face-to-face between them, because still their best segments together is when they are saying stuff to one another. And Joe had a really good promo backstage before the matchup, which Shibata backstage saying that Hangman Adam Page is going to pay for his crimes against the ops and stuff like that. And Joe's so good in promos. I would have done a final face-off where they agree not to lay hands on each other, and they should have done a promo on this show. I thought that would have been a much more effective build than just another matchup and a simple, straight to the point promo from Hangman. It wasn't bad, the promo, and I thought the match was good, and it was fun to see Shibata work heel for the first time in like 11 years. So that was interesting as well. So I enjoyed the matchup, but yeah, the promo, the final build to the matchup, it doesn't feel like the hot enough feud to be the main event of the show, despite it feeling like it is going to be the main event of Saturday's show.
What does feel hot enough to main event this show? Stat and Mercedes?
That's probably, yeah. As far as it being for a major title, having stars involved, and the build did not have anything that was like disappointing or a letdown in any way. Yeah, probably it would be Stat and Mercedes. Gray saying Mox and Kyle. No, they botched that last night. If we were talking about coming off of last week, then yeah, Kyle and Mox would be one of the bigger matches. But yeah, Stat and Mercedes feels bigger than all these other matches. And it's not really like they've had the greatest build up to the matchup either.
John Moxley getting 2 main event spots while Hangman is the champion. That
would be such a bad look. Oh my!
That's
God.
A little rough. Yeah, that feels very much John Cena gets the main event, even though CM Punk's the champion right now. That's what that would feel like. I don't think you can do that. Yeah, I think it will be Hangman and Joe. Kind of feels like it should be Stat and Mercedes though. That's all right. Super chats here. Delayed Gratz saying, I believe that Mercedes is going to win the AEW women's title and set up a 2026 storyline of the fall of Mercedes. I don't think she's winning on Saturday.
I don't think she should win, and I don't think she's going to win. And I think they are setting up the better story to me is that's the one they're setting up of Mercedes Moné 34-0 in AEW. In non-AEW women's world title matches, 0-2 in women's world title matches.
Yeah, Stat beating her finally after losing the last 2, which were fantastic matches as well. Kind of feels like the story here of Stat kind of erasing that demon. And yeah, Mercedes failing to win the big one, and that's why she continues to just, let me go to this country and get their title. Let me go to this country and get their title because she can't get kind of the ultimate championship that she is continually chasing.
I think you're definitely right. That is the direction that they're going to go. She's going to add more titles after failing at Full Gear. And it's not going to be until she's dethroned for the TBS title that she starts losing all these other titles.
Yeah. Matthew sends Super Chat. Hopeful Gear has more than 2 women's matches. Come on, TK. I don't know what else they're gonna add.
What else can they add? Like it would have been nice if they did the semifinals on this card, but they I don't. What match are they adding?
Yeah, they've got 8 women on the pre-show and those are kind of your top 8 women who aren't Mercedes and Stat who are facing each other.
That's on the main card.
Oh, I thought that match was on Tailgate Brawl.
No, that's on the main card.
Oh, okay. My fault then. All right. Okay, well, regardless, I mean, but Tailgate Brawl is pretty filled up now.
It's already filled because they got that Eddie and Hook open challenge. They got the $200,000 4-way. They got the big Doom and Boom versus RPG Vice, and then they got the CMLL Trios matchup.
Yeah, so they're only gonna do 4 matches on Tailgate Brawl. I feel like the whole card is filled at this point because then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
and there's
6,
no
7,
show
8,
for them to
9
add
matches.
another matchup. So I'm very confused by that comment. I'll be honest.
I mean, I think the point is like, why couldn't we get more than 2, which is fair.
Yeah, that's definitely fair. Like, why couldn't we get more than 2? But we literally just came off of a show that had 3. The last pay-per-view had 3. And yes, we want that to be a theme, a common occurrence and not just a one-off, but it's not like we have one match on the show. Let's realize how far we've come with this company to be also fair.
They got 1 match on the main card. No, sorry. I keep thinking. Never mind. Don't listen to me. They can add a high-end and Maya World contract signing. That would actually be hilarious if they did that.
Let's go. That's just sticking it to them at that point.
I thought about like high-end and Maya World answering the Hook and Eddie Kingston Open Challenge just for the fuck of it. But doing a contract signing is just as good. Maybe they do both. Answer the Open Challenge. All right, they lose, but then they get the All Elite graphic afterwards. They love doing the All Elite graphic after a loss,
especially after you lose to Eddie Kingston. Brian Keefe knows all about that.
He's doing well for himself, right?
He's doing well. He's on the tailgate, bro. He might be $200,000 richer.
Might be, yeah, might be. I hope not the Acclaimed win, and then they just get a lawyer to never have to tag team again. And that's
I think the Bang Bang Gang is going to win, and they're just going to continue to draw out this not Acclaimed storyline that is not doing well.
Probably. They'll face Skyflight at some point.
Loser leaves the company.
All right, SP3, what was your moment of Wednesday in the world of wrestling?
Well, I don't think it's time for that, Jeremy. We didn't talk about another important show on Wednesday.
Well, we usually do it after like
that might be the answer though. So that's why I think that it should be another time.
Okay.
Should be.
It's
time for the C-suite. The C-suite. It's time for the C-suite. The C-suite. It's time for the C-suite. The C-suite. It's time for the C-suite, where we watch C-level WWE shows in the C-suite. That's the best one yet.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Oh my God. Big Pop. Holy shit. Holy shit. Holy shit. Holy shit. Holy shit. History has been made, ladies and gentlemen. Right here on In the Weeds. We got a video wall for the C-suite intro. And it is Nikita, Big Cat, Yam Yam Bigelow, Thick Flair, the American Cream, Busty Rhodes. And she's twerk walking, y'all. She is twerk walking, y'all. All right, let's talk about. Just kidding. No, I was gonna say you should
keep it up. I'll keep it up. All right, yeah, that's fine.
Just keep it up for the whole review.
All right. This is gonna be a great clip. People are gonna be very confused as to why the hell Nikita Lyons is twerk walking through. But
why is Nikita Lyons twerk walking through? You shouldn't be asking that. You should be asking, why is Nikita Lyons not twerk walking through when she's not on screen?
I was waiting. I created this morning, and I was waiting. I was thinking about doing like, oh, what if I just pop it on the Dynamite review, like just to throw you off. I was like, no, I gotta save it for like the C-suite intro. And as you were doing it, I'm gonna pop it on.
That was great. One of your best bits yet. Best bits.
Thank you.
All right, so on Evolve, WWE Evolve from the November 19th, 2025. There was no Big Cat Nikita Lyons on the show, so it's already down 2 points. Like, how do you give us this last week and then don't give it to us at all? I think that is a crime against humanity. But we did get Jax Presley and Harley Riggins. They came out for the open challenge with Timothy Thatcher, who I thought from the promo last week, Timothy Thatcher was saying, I had two WWE ID guys to verse Riggins and Presley, but apparently he just said, I have two guys to face him, and he went to NXT and got OTM, because OTM is here. Remember when OTM came back to NXT and we're getting a push? That was nice, right? That lasted like 2 weeks, right? Right, cool story, right? But they're here in Evolve now, and they picked up the win over Presley and Riggins. Good performance by Bronco Nima, and Lucian Price. But we got to talk about, you know what happened last night, Jeremy? Do you know what happened? Breaking news. Sweet Multiverse is back! It's back, y'all! The Multiverse is
What did you just knock over? Like pots and pans were going off in the background there. You have a bell? Holy shit. All right, hold on. Why have we never used that before?
It's basically my lamp, but it actually can venture as a bell.
Oh, we gotta bring this into the bit more. That's fantastic.
Like, whenever you go too far with the troller. Ding ding ding, disqualification. But yes, we got multiverse action going on as Xena Sterling is here. Yeah. Let's go! Xena Sterling's here. I'm pumped. I was like, let's go! The star of LFG 2 seasons, Mrs. Elijah Holyfield, is here. Xena Sterling is in Evolve. She went up against Carmen Petrovic and she lost. What are we doing? Everyone from LFG should be winning, especially after what happened on Tuesday, which that is how we're going to end the C-suite. Spoiler alert or cliffhanger. Tate Wilder and Trill London, they were talking in the locker room. Trill London, another LFG alumni. Oh my god, it's like I'm watching LFG evolve. This is great. He's backstage. He's talking to Tate Wilder about teaming up against Swipe Right in the show. Sean Legacy coming over, acting like a jealous boyfriend. Like, oh, I thought we were cool. I thought you were gonna pick me for your team. And Wilder said he wants to give Trill a shot. Michelle McCool has gave him a stamp of approval from LFG, so that must mean he's good enough for him. And Legacy said he's going to show up and he's going to watch the match from the VIP section. Legacy was coming off kind of. Are they going to turn Sean Legacy heel? This company just always has to have. If you're in developmental, you got to have a babyface run and a heel run. Even though this guy wrestles like one of the best babyfaces in developmental. Just a weird company. Tate Wilder and Trill London actually picked up the win against Swipe Right. I was quite surprised by that. Swipe Right has been one of the more, protected tag teams in Evolve, especially with the Vanity Project. Put your two fingers up in the chat. Dum 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 dum. The party's here. Ariana Grace is also here, and she went to the VIP section. She cut a quick promo about how great she is, and her biggest regret in life is that she'll never get to meet herself, which is a great line. That's actually a great line. That was actually really good. I have to give it up to Ariana. Ariana is one of the people that I enjoy on NXT. It's few and far between. Callie Armstrong's here. She wants a rematch with Kendall Gray, who reminded her that she has Chantel Monroe coming up on December 3rd, because unfortunately, folks, there is no Evolve next week because of Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving week, no Evolve. Kelly Armstrong is in the main event, and she's facing PJ Vasa. Come get your issue. Penina Telepa. P Nasty picking up a big victory with the issue 1, 2, 3, pinning the former WWE Evolve Women's Champion with Kendall Gray in the VIP section watching on. It was PJ Vasa getting her biggest win yet, and then post-match she got into it with Kendall Gray in the VIP section, and then Chantel Monroe attacked Kendall Gray to set up the matchup coming up on December 3rd. We then saw Riggins and Presley. They made a phone call to someone or something about their issue with OTM and Timothy Thatcher, and that's how we ended the show.
Who do you think they called?
Ghostbusters, of course.
Oh.
If I'm looking, who would work with? Oh, Josh Briggs. Josh Briggs would work with Presley and Riggins. Yeah.
Josh Briggs. Okay. All right. There you go. C-suite, everybody. No C-suite next week because no Evolve next week. Are we doing a show on Thanksgiving?
I was going to ask you that right after we were done here.
We'll do an on-air talent meeting as we've done before. They don't celebrate this Thanksgiving in Canada, so I figured if Joel was available, he'd want to do the show if you weren't available. So, but I mean, if you obviously
we'll switch on Wednesday and Thursday, or Friday and Thursday.
Yeah, I don't know. I got to talk with my wife about doing. I think I did Spotlight last year. We did a show at like 10 o'clock or so, and it was fine. Because we're not doing Spotlight this year for Thanksgiving, because now that we're in the evening, it's a little bit more difficult. But yeah, I feel like I can do it. We'll see, though. We'll figure it all out. Yeah. All right. Now, what was your moment of Wednesday?
My moment of Wednesday was P Nasty picking up a huge victory in the main event of Evolve. There was a lot of great things on Dynamite and Collision, and I thought it was a very good episode, probably their best 3-hour episode yet. But I have emotional investment in my LFG babies all going to Evolve, and last night's Evolve was like a celebration of all the people that I bought stock in. P Nasty, Xena Sterling, Trill London. It was LFG's night to stand up. That is my moment of Wednesday.
My moment of Wednesday was Luchasaurus with a vacuum cleaner and Jack Perry cleaning up all the jack-off mess with the shovel. That is the moment of Wednesday. That's what the shovel was there for. He's like, oh, everyone's going to be here. They're gonna hear the music. They're gonna all jack off. That's why Luchasaurus had the vacuum cleaner as well.
Mhm.
You know what? You got to scoop some stuff. Other stuff you can just suck up.
Wow. Okay. I understand. I
Yeah.
understand.
That's
Duly
how it
noted.
works. Yeah. All right, SP3. What are your matches of the weeks?
All right. Let me pull up this here. My matches of the week. So starting from last Thursday till now. I gotta. You're gonna. You see. You gotta prep me. You gotta prep me before you give me the drop and tell me.
You know it's every
to remember.
week.
I know it's every week, but I don't remember anything I've watched since last Thursday. But no, I will give you my 3 matches of the week. Coming in at number 3. No, it's not Santana versus Kaz. No. Coming in at number 3, let's go with from Turning Point. Let's go with the Rascals versus the System. I actually rewatched that the other day. That was actually a really fun matchup. I gave that matchup 3 3/4 stars. Then we'll go with number 2 for this week is Gunther versus Javon Evans from WWE Raw. Just a real star-making performance from Javon Evans. In Vince McMahon's time and era in WWE, if a young guy had a performance like that in Madison Square Garden, he's getting called up and he's getting a big push on the main roster. He was just a great plucky underdog babyface with the Madison Square Garden getting behind him, and Gunther being the best in-ring performer in the company. It just made for a magical matchup, and I gave that one 4 1/4 stars. So that's number 2. And we'll go with number 1 for the week. I'm actually going to give it to Mercedes Moné versus Red Velvet from last night's AEW Dynamite. I thought that Red Velvet had an awesome performance, one of her best matches of her entire career. Mercedes Moné is one of the candidates for Women's Wrestler of the Year, and she's just so great. Whenever the bell rings, she's on point. You might not be into her character too much, might not be into the bell collecting too much or her promos, but when the bell rings, there's no denying Mercedes Moné is one of the greatest women's wrestlers of all time, and she proved that again in her hometown in a great match against Red Velvet to become the undisputed ROH Women's TV Champion. I gave that match 4 1/4 stars.
Matches of the week. My match of the week was Kaz and Santana because that was hilarious.
It was funny. It got 5-star in laughs.
Yeah.
5-star in laughs.
Match was great. Dumbass promotion,
Yes.
TNA.
Yeah, great.
And great when, great when you just want to laugh at this promotion, and I like laughing at the promotion.
I see that.
Yeah,
I understand.
It's funny to me. Very funny to me. All right, let me get this super chat from Uncle Donk. It's off topic. Nothing's off topic on this show. Kidding me? Asking me what is missing from the Avs to win the Cup this year. Canada versus USA. Do you feel conflict because McKenna and McCarr are on the Team Canada roster? No, I don't feel any conflict because I don't have like an allegiance to America and sports like that. Like if Team USA wins, cool. If they don't win, all right. So then I am happy for if McKenna and McCarr win. I'm happy for them. It's kind of same thing in basketball. Shea plays for Team Canada. Dort plays for Team Canada. If they win, all right, cool. Shea and Dort got some accolades. And if Team USA wins, all right, sure. Team USA won. I just don't have allegiance to my country in sports like that. Our country sucks. Why am I going to be allegiant to them?
I mean, it is all true. It is also true. Like I said this before with the All-Star format. The USA going to get smashed, man. Don't show Donald Trump the All-Star game this year because the USA is not going to win.
And then as far as what is the Avs missing to win a cup, I mean, right now, kind of nothing. They've lost one regulation game all season. I think they could use just some depth on forward and defense just because you can never have enough depth on that area. But top 2 lines are good. Top 4 defensemen are good. Top 2 goaltenders are good. It's just a matter of staying healthy. The team's got familiarity with each other. It was a core that was there last season. Bednar's been the coach for since 2016 now. So he's been the coach for 10 seasons, I believe, 9 or 10 seasons. And, it's a good team. So I don't really think anything's missing. I think they'll add because it's an organization that has always proven they're looking to add and upgrade. So if there's an upgrade to be made, they will do that. I just don't know fully what that is outside of, hey, maybe get some depth because you can always use depth. Because injuries are going to happen. And so the more depth you have, the better when those injuries do end up hitting you. As play tonight, I'll be watching that. I guess I'll be watching some TNA and some MLW as well.
Oh, I'll watch some MLW. TNA, I don't know. After last week, I think I need to put them on timeout. I got to put them on timeout for a little while. Just a little while.
A little while. I mean, the tapings look like nothing happened on these shows either.
Yeah, it did not. It did not. They're gonna do this whole angle of the D squad, NWO 2000, NWO B team, the NXT Invasion versus Santana, and try to pass it off like it's a genuine invasion angle.
Yeah. Those tapings don't inspire much confidence. Anyway, listen to Joel and Cresta review the show tonight, I guess. Anything else, SP3, that we need to hit on before we get out of here?
No, we'll have TikTok time on Tuesday and Thursday next week since we didn't give them any for this week. So
all right. Yeah. We should definitely Thursday because we had a 3-hour Dynamite allegedly collision to review, so took a little extra time on things. I don't know if Volob's here anymore, but I will address his comments from earlier asking me about Dark State stocks and or when it comes to them and they're a team and everything, and how can you get stock in the whole team when you're talking about singles being all this? It's a different game over there, folks. Right?
Oh,
it's a different
now
game.
this.
It's a different game. If you're going to tell me where AEW is the best wrestle, then I need to see the best in singles matches.
They
Dark
didn't say
State,
we're the best wrestle singles matches. They say we're the best wrestle.
Yeah, well, I want to see them in those singles matches, though.
You can't qualify. You can't move the goalpost.
I can do whatever I want. This isn't serious stuff here.
This is serious to me. It's still real to me, damn it.
It's a different game over in WWE. They ain't playing basketball over there, right? They're playing like rugby or something. It's not even that. They're playing Savannah Banana baseball over in WWE. Ain't worried about wins and losses and who's performing the best over there. Like, what wacky pitch can we do this time? What new gimmick rule can we make up on this game? Oh, you start on first, but then if you hit a fly ball to the outfield, you get to score off of that. But you also have to do all of that while eating a banana. But if you get an apple thrown at you, you are out. Does any of that make sense? No, it fucking doesn't. But that is what they are doing in the Savannah Bananas, and that is what they are doing in the WWE. So it's a different game. That's why Dark State qualifies as one in WWE, and I'm less concerned about their singles performances.
Seems like a very well articulated excuse for Dark State stocks being null and void and no money being received because of it.
It is a very well articulated excuse. I will say that. I agree with you on that point. Kenny Omega's Klay Thompson. SV3.
Oh
let's
my
get
God!
to our...
Don't repeat that to me again.
Oh, you already know we're about to do What Did We Accomplish, and you know the answer on this one. You already know the answer, folks. Spoiler alert over here. Does Mercedes Moné too many title victories, or what do you think about Mercedes Moné title victories? 27% says too little, 31% says too much, and 42% say just right on the poll. Thank you for everybody who voted in our poll today. SP3, what did we accomplish today?
I had to listen to Jeremy Lambert come up with the most preposterous, most egregious, and ridiculous reasonings for why he believes only him can come up with something as articulately moronic as Kenny Omega is the equivalent of Klay Thompson. That is what he accomplished on today's show. As far as us as a collective, we accomplished a bunch of things. We talked about AEW Dynamite and the fact that Tony Khan is trying to diminish the impact of the men's and women's blood and guts and has awful follow-up for the Death Riders, while still somehow having a very good 3-hour episode that had very little build to the actual pay-per-view that is coming up on Saturday and seemed like it was allergic to promos, but it had plenty of good wrestling, including multiple people being knocked out. So that was fun to talk about. And we talked about the C-suite, where my love for LFG was finally appreciated and fulfilled by the Evolve bookers. Thank you, Overlord Gabe, who gave me a whole bunch of LFG alumni on the November 19th, 2025 edition, yet the show still got two less points than last week because it didn't have Big Cat twerk walking.
The biggest thing we accomplished, folks, is I have correctly assessed that Kenny Omega is washed, and he is the equivalent of Dallas Mavericks 2025-2026 Klay Thompson. I trolled John Alba into joining the show. John Alba was so either offended or amazed at my comments that he's like, I gotta join. I gotta pop on to this show.
But yes, I didn't get to talk about it. I literally gave the cliffhanger during the C-suite and then totally forgot about it. The star of the week, Shiloh Hill. Let's fucking go. Let's go. Perverter of the dark web, genius nerd who loves violence and loves knocking the breath out of individuals on a football field, Shiloh Hill. You know, Jeremy. I don't appreciate you didn't give me enough credit. You should have stopped all conversation on yesterday's show and be like, we cannot properly talk about Shiloh Hill, purveyor of the dark web, winner of LFG season 2, without SP3 being here. So I will just touch on it and say I enjoyed it, but we're going to properly talk about it on tomorrow's show. That is the respect that I was due, that I was not given on yesterday's show. But all hail Shiloh Hill, our future NXT champion, NXT North American champion. He's going to go in a river and find the NXT Heritage Cup. He's going to win the NXT Dark Web Cup. He's going to win the NXT Knock the Breath Out of an Individual on a Football Field Cup. He's got a robot. This man has a robot in his home that he talks to and gets advice to that is his best friend. No one can say a bad word about Shiloh Hill, future WrestleMania main eventer.
So as I was saying earlier, and I was going to bring this up when we were talking about you joining Spotlight and you joining the show yesterday when we were talking about Shiloh Hill, I don't think to invite people who have the link on this show. Like today with Alba, that was not an invitation. Alba just was like, I have the link. I'm going to join. That is what I like when it comes to like you know, Sean just shows up whenever he wants. Joel, if he wants to show up whenever he wants. Alba, same thing. The link doesn't change. Everyone knows that. So anybody can show up at any time that they want. But certainly like regulars who pop on. Cam shows up whenever he wants. I don't think to invite any of you guys because I'm like, you have the link. If you want to come on and bullshit with us, just pop on. So that's what I thought yesterday when we were talking about Shiloh Hill. I'm like, well, if SP3 wants to come on and talk about him, he's free to just come on and talk. Like, you want the proper invitation, though. That's the thing, right? I need the
proper invitation, and I was working yesterday. But if I got proper invitation, I would have took my time, my break to come on the show.
I'm not a proper invitation person for my friends. I don't feel like I need to invite my friends over here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I give you proper invitation. You are properly invited to join me and Chris to talk about basketball. We're doing
because the link changes though. But the link changes. I need the link for that. You have the link. This is we are friends over here. SP3. I realize there's no black people in that show, but we are friends over here.
We can't be living single? What are we talking about?
I didn't watch Living Single enough. I watched a lot of Friends.
We are living, hey, single. Ooh, in a 90s kind of world. I'm glad I got my girls. Keep your head up. What? Keep your head up. That's right. You never despite the bite. You got to bite with them. Home throw setting to my left. Am I right? Too cool. It's like cool. We are living, hey, single. Ooh, in a 90s kind of world. I'm glad I got my girls. Doo-doo-doo-doo-wah.
I'm going to assume that's how the song went. I didn't watch enough Living Single. I watched a lot of Friends. They didn't lock their doors on Friends. People just walk in, they lived across from each other, and they were just walking in and out of the apartments. Because you didn't need an invitation to come in. Nobody really knocked. They just walked in and out. That's how I feel it is around here. We don't lock the door around here. You want to come in? Come on in. You don't need an invite on that. That's how I treat things around here. So I'm not a proper invitation kind of person to my friends because my friends are always welcome. We are family.
Well, no one ever told you life was going to be this fair. Your life's a joke. You're broke. Your love life's DOA. It feels like you're always stuck in second gear when it hasn't been your day, week, or month, or even your year. But I'll be there for you, 'cause it's there for me too. Ooh.
See, that's how I treated SP3. So you're always welcome around here. You know that. I'm sorry I don't give you a proper invitation. That's not my style. Louis just sent us a $2 super chat. I assume it's for your singing, which it should get money. Truthfully, it should. Let everybody know where they can find you at SP3.
You can find me on the Twitter machine at TrueHillSP3. I will be live in about 40 minutes with Jimmy Macaram to discuss AEW Dynamite and Collision. And if I had big issues or a couple of issues with Dynamite and Collision, that means Jimmy hated last night's show. So this should be a good one. Coming up 1:05 p.m. Eastern time. Join us live as we break down the 3-hour special from last night and also get some predictions for Jimmy for Full Gear as well. We'll be live tomorrow at 1:05 p.m. Eastern time on True Hill Heat. Myself, Jay News, and Maggie of Fightful Overbooked as we're going to preview the AEW Full Gear card. We got plenty of content this week. We got top 10 Full Gear matches that's going to be dropping on the channel. We got the flagship podcast, and we got a review of Full Gear on Sunday. So go over and subscribe and check it out. But thank you as always, Jeremy. And I'll also be live on True Hill Heat Sports and Entertainment for True Hill Heat Check if you want some more basketball talk with me and Chris G, where we're discussing who has the better legacy between Steph Curry and LeBron James.
Definitely not Kevin Durant. Appreciate you as always, SP3. Folks, we'll be back tomorrow. Myself and Joel Pearl talking about TNA Impact, talking about MLW, Don Gatto, talking about anything else that might pop up on a random Thursday. Tony Khan's going to speak to people here in a few hours. Got to listen to him. Hopefully, he will be asked the proper questions about Blake Christian's theme and Kenny Omega being washed. If not, all of our friends in media are cowards. I'll be back tonight with Jensen on the Spotlight. We're going to talk about War Games. We're going to talk about Full Gear. We're going to talk about Zack Ryder and Matt Cardona and Nick Nemeth and Dolph Ziggler all returning. All 4 of them returned. We're going to talk about all that fun stuff. So join us then at 6:30 for the Spotlight. Until then, everyone, we'll talk to you later. Thank you for voting in the poll. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for just all the comments in general. We'll talk to y'all tomorrow. Bye, everyone.